Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Tim Schimmel and I'm here with Wayne, the wine wizard, and we're here to talk about God King Slave
What a
wines
name.
from Southern Oregon. So much to talk about these guys. Really excited to be here. See you in a minute.
Drum roll, please, man. It's all about you.
I love these wines. I love the label. The
God.
Christians go, oh my God, what is that? Then you go,
God,
hold on.
King, Slave.
There's no insult to anybody's religion by
No.
any means. The name comes from a Romanian sculptor. Chris Haran, the winemaker, was reading Constantine Brancusi's book, and his partner in the God King Slave wines, Christine, says, well, what do you want to call the wines? And he says, I think I want to call them God King Slave. And she's like, oh, I don't know. And well, as it turns out, that is what they decided on. And it's from a quote that Chris pulled out of there: create like a god, command like a king, but work like a slave. And we all kind of wear those hats in the wine industry, for
We
sure.
do.
And these two, Christine Collier, Chris Haran, with God King Slave, have taken their savings and everything and just folded it in. So many times you see people who've made their millions in, as a doctor or computers or whatever, and they have a lot of money and they want to start a wine brand. That's one way to do it. But if you're doing it from dirt, there's so much more respect I have. And so absolutely in love with these guys. They're some of Oregon's young winemakers, 27, 28 years
That's
old.
it? I've never met these people yet. Where do they live?
They're down in Medford.
Oh, they're down there. Okay.
Yep. Been talking to Chris a lot lately. We just got the new releases of 2011 Red, which is their third release on the Red. First release on the Kinfolk White here that we're trying now.
Kinfolk.
And, first release, we're at the end of the 2011 Sauv Blanc, going into 12 here very shortly. The Kinfolk is Viognier, Marsanne, and Roussanne, which are traditionally from the south of France and the Rhone. And he's kind of playing with the vinification on this.
He can.
The Marsanne and the Roussanne are done all in stainless steel. The Viognier is done in neutral oak with just a kiss of new oak.
All right.
Just a kiss.
You know what? These are some of my favorite grapes. I love the Rhone varietals, especially these three whites. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, it's a delicate nose. Normally you wouldn't think to pour this blend in front of the Sauv Blanc, but the Sauv Blanc is very Sauv Blanc-y. And so the delicacy on this.
It's got some nice acidity, too.
Great acidity. A little bit of, not quite cola, but maybe sassafras, white flour.
Sassafras. Where'd you pull that out of?
You don't want to know.
I don't. I like it, though.
My spice box.
How busy we are. The phones ring off the hook all the time. So, all right. So, God King Slave, Gold Hill, Oregon. How many cases they produce of this stuff?
60 cases on this and the Sauv Blanc, 125.
105 on
the
this. 105.
What?
105.
Okay.
But they increased it from the 11.
I thought I saw 60.
No, that's
So
okay.
it went up just a little bit.
But you know what? Let's be
I'm
honest.
supposed to know everything.
No, you're not the at all. But here's the deal. As you build a brand, you build it smartly.
Yes.
And
right.
how do you do that? You start with a couple of barrels, and here's what I tell people, man.
Well, where are you going to sell it?
Swear to
Where are
God.
you going to sell it? You're going to sell it just in Oregon? You got to make just enough for Oregon. If you want to be in Washington, you got to make a little bit more. But you got to make sure those distribution channels are open. And
No, you're right. But here's the deal. After your parents, your best friends, your first cousins, second cousins have bought all the wine that you like a Tupperware party, like you pipped out on them, you got to create a market. And how do you do that? A lot of people go to farmers markets, they pour wines there, and they get their brand out there. It's brilliant.
Chris and Christine have been great about getting out and doing tastings. I have a series of things. He's going to be up in the market next week, so I'll definitely bring him by to give you a high five.
Love to.
Talk about things. But yeah, really beautiful. Very excited about the
This
Kinfolk.
screams oysters.
Yeah.
It does. It needs some shellfish. It's just, it's got a really nice mid palate. It's got real good acidity. It's got some tropical notes to it, but I think oysters with a nice vinaigrette.
I like the leanness of it, and I like the acidity. And there's no malolactic fermentation, which would have given it a creamy quality. It's a lot, little more grip on it, and a little tartar because of that. So.
All right, Sauvignon Blanc. Now here's, these wines here. I'll be honest with you. I lived in Napa, worked in Mondavi, like a lot of you guys know, for about 3.5, 4 years. I like Napa Valley Sauv Blancs. New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs are amazing. French Sauvignon Blancs are just different. Oregon Sauvignon Blancs are in a category of their own.
Well, yeah,
It's all terroir.
France
So-
is much more light, ethereal, and aromatic, whereas New Zealand Sauv Blanc is really high acid, zippy. This is very much New Zealand.
But I couldn't pull this out. I just smelling it.
Would you think it's an Oregon Sauv Blanc?
I would think it was like a Pinot Gris, only because there's no grassiness to the nose. You know, you usually get that grassy kind of a cat pissy almost odor to it. This has none of that.
No, that's not a phenolic that you'll get out of Southern Oregon.
At all.
This is, the first vintage came out of Quail Run Vineyard outside of Medford. All stainless steel on this. And Chris had interned in New Zealand, so when he returned, he wanted to join the ranks of Oregon Sauv Blanc producers, which is less than 12 people that I know of that are doing Oregon Sauv Blanc.
Not many. There's not a lot of Sauv Blanc grown up here. And that's the problem. You know, I know Patty Green does a Sauvignon Blanc from the Willamette Valley, but this is all Southern Oregon fruit. How often do you see a Sauvignon Blanc grown in the Willamette Valley? It's got to be a warm vintage to have any kind of ripeness too.
And this is a really lean style wine. You want it to be about 105 degrees outside and just sitting by the pool.
Honestly, this I like the Kinfolk. This has a lot more structure personally than this Sauvignon Blanc. Just personally, I think this has a couple of elements that it's missing, but that's all right. Everybody's palate's different.
Well, 2012, which I had a chance to taste yesterday, is light years beyond the 11. I'm really excited to get
We're
that.
all excited about the 12.
You know, Oregon is a state that is very vintage driven. It's, you know, up, down, left, right, depending on the year. So 2012 across the board knocks 2011 out of the park. 2011 was a very difficult vintage. So.
Yeah, and you know what I tell people? I do wine classes every week. I always tell people about Oregon's weather. It's consistently inconsistent, and that's the only way you can describe it. Here it is. Today it's 58 degrees and rain. On Wednesday it's supposed to be 84 degrees. Here we'll have. Did you know that? No. Dude, I'm almost ready to take the pool cover off the pool.
I don't even like look.
You coming over the summer?
Sure. Yeah.
You're invited. You and your daughter. I'll have my kids come over. You're not gonna buy my kid a car.
Oh, yeah,
next week.
Yeah.
Then I don't have to go over and pick him up anymore. He can drive his own ass over to my house. That's kind of the only caveat of buying him a car. Like, go get an hour drive. I don't mind. I love you.
You got to bribe him.
Max, Madeline, I love you guys. But it's going to be nice getting you a car.
2011, the Initiative. The 9 and the 10 didn't have a name per se, and so 11, the bastard child got a name finally. Syrah Tempranillo, equal parts. This is from Rob Boland's.
I like the nose on this.
Oh, this is just fabulous. This is really just a beautiful wine he did. Chris did an awesome job this vintage. And I love the fact he is sticking with neutral oak on this wine.
This is delicious.
Which lets the fruit show through. And this is, this is a southern French grape, and this is a northern Spanish varietal from the Rioja. So the only folks down in southern Oregon doing this sort of blend that we know of.
What's the retail on this?
You are at 27 retail.
Roughly? I'll tell you something, guys. Out of the bunch, I'm more of a red wine guy than a white wine guy. I love this. It's got dusty tannins. It's got nice acidity, good structure, a little bit of oak, not overly offensive.
There's one thing, an aromatic and flavor, somebody pointed out yesterday on this wine, that now that I've been told of that smell, like sometimes you smell things, but you don't really smell a particular thing until someone says cake batter. You ever like lick the beaters, you know, when you're done making the cake?
Cake batter.
Has that kind of chocolate cake batter thing. Lots of grapefruit, great freshness on the acidity. This is a freaking delicious wine, and I love the fact that when it finishes on your palate, your mouth's watering. It's still really fresh. It's not a wine that's going to wear you down after a couple of glasses.
It's not. However, it doesn't have big acidity. It doesn't have big tannins. It's not a wine you're going to want to lay down for a long time. This is one of those wines you want to drink it up a couple years. Let's not overage it to try to get it better. I think it's drinking beautifully right now.
Yeah, Chris is holding back a couple cases from each vintage for his cellar.
Oh, you have to.
Kind of see where they go.
Dude, you have
and
to.
this vintage, he did 6 magnums too, which one he's given to me, Chris.
When are you coming over this summer? Pig roast.
Get that pool uncovered.
125 cases, so that's what, a 5-barrel hauler right there. Yeah. So not much.
Very excited to be representing these guys. We are going to see a lot more exciting things coming from them.
You know, and being a distributor like you are, it's getting placement. and there's a lot of
Well,
hustle.
and it's also rotation of placement, and that requires doing a lot of tastings and dinners and festivals and stuff like that, and it's part of the job. Better than a real job, though.
This is the hardest working man in the wine business.
I think you're the hardest,
dude.
man
I mean,
in the wine
he'll call me up like 8 o'clock at night and go, dude, where are you? I'm still at the fucking shop doing paperwork. He'll come over here, he'll have some wines over, we'll come over and drink a couple glasses of wine, and that's just it, though, man. We go screaming from 6:30 in the morning till whenever it gets done.
Yeah, I love it when people say, "Did you really send me an email at 2 a.m.?"
No, I've done that. Or people.
Hey, I woke up, I rolled over as yes, no, maybe so, and
no,
there you go.
People on the East Coast will get on, hey, do you have this wine? Like, they'll do it like, well, let me see, 5 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock their time, and I'm up early, and I'll see it pinging in my phone. I'll answer them right back, yeah, I got it, how much you need? Yeah, right, and they'll go, you're up? Dude, I'm up. It's business.
We've got some great stuff coming up in May, festival-wise with God King Slave, so if you're in the Portland area, look at Oregon Wine Sales on Facebook is our company, and we've got them all lined out there.
Dude.
I think I'm scheduled every weekend from now till June anyways. So.
I love this guy. All right, when we come back, we're going to have some more wines, and I think some
Argentinian
wines from Caffiete. Something new in his portfolio. See you in a while.